Hey guys, believe it or not, I am back again finally. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. I always am busy. And in the way of toy reviews, I've done none lately because there's nothing that really piqued my interest except the new Marvel Legends are looking pretty interesting. But I've been running a little bit low on money because I have to spend it all on gas and shit. So, that's why I haven't been making as much in the way of videos, which I am truly sorry for, guys. I actually am going to try and get back into those this summer. Hopefully I'm going to get a little bit more money, so that will allow me to start doing those reviews more. Here we go. First off, for my Wizard Day thing, here's my my wristband. I don't know, I usually keep these like tickets and wristbands for concerts and conventions and stuff because I think they're pretty cool to look back on later often. And then I've got my Neil Adams pass. Could be better in this mode. Yeah, it doesn't look much different. There's my Neil Adams VIP pass. That's what I went with. I didn't go with the sketch, but I did go with the prints, which I thought was a cooler value because, I don't know. But let's get on to the things. Oh, I also got a lot of comics that are newer that I just thought I'd show you guys because I haven't showed you guys any of my new comics in a little while. A couple of them are out of order because I was reading them though, so sorry about that. I got Crazy Clown, or Kid Clown and Crazy Chase, the Super Famicom game. This is the only video game I actually got at the convention. Unfortunately, guys, I wasn't able to hit SpringCon this year on top of that, so I did not get any figures at Wizard because most of them were very overpriced. Unfortunately, I was going to buy them all at SpringCon, but we had a family thing that came up, so unfortunately I couldn't do that, which is a shame. But Batman Eternal #1. Very cool looking book. This is the only one of the new issues I've got that I haven't read yet. Of the new issues, there's a couple back issues I also got that I haven't read. Batman Eternal 2. It's by Scott Snyder and a couple other guys that I kind of like, so obviously it'll probably be good. Going on to the other issues. Here, let me kind of sort these out as I go. Sorry about that. First off, I've got All New X-Men #21. Of course, as I told you, some of these are very back issue. Here, I'll just figure this out. Alright, sorry about that. 22. These are pretty good issues. They meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I believe Bendis is also writing, and that's why the other one's crossing the Guardians books. He's a big fan of crossing into his other books, so pretty cool there. I liked all these books. I still love All New X-Men. I kind of hope they get down to do some more earthy stuff. A little less with like inner X-Men fights, maybe a little more villain fights. I don't know. But All New X-Men 23, Trial of Jean Grey, more Guardians crossovers. 24, the final part of the Guardian crossover. Unfortunately, although this was about Jean Grey, it actually ended in Guardians of the Universe, which kind of, or Galaxy, I'm sorry, which sort of pissed me off because I figured if it's a Jean Grey book, and I don't pick up Guardians, I kind of like to limit myself on the new comics I pick up to sheerly what I collect because otherwise it gets too crazy. So that's why that happened. But 25, issue 25, I mean, this one's kind of a cool, like, old beast, kind of thinking about the repercussions of the X-Men thing, and it has like a lot of artists, usually only doing a page or two. I'm not sure who's doing the main pages. The main beast pages. I would assume it's God, what's his name? I can't remember the main artist on the book. I think, but I mean, I'm not sure. Pretty cool. Also, I like how they're doing the Ultimate Marvel now. That's kind of cool. I don't know if that's just for Ultimate Spider-Man and Ghost Rider and a couple other books. Now for my free comic day books. I actually did get few other comic books besides these, but these were mixed in there. Beware the Batman #1, free comic book day. Futures End Zero, free comic book day. Very cool. And that's Batman Beyond. and Superman Last Son of Krypton. Those are the 3 I got, which I actually got last year too, but those are the 3 I got for Free Comic Book Day. And now on to more of my comics I picked up. Actually, Batman and Wonder Woman number 30, which is Batman and Robin. And actually, let me flip these books over so they're in order. Sorry about that, guys. Batman and Two-Face 28. That was a little series that's been going on for a while, the whole Batman Two-Face thing. Batman and Aquaman 29. Really like these covers. Pat Gleason and Peter Tomasi do this book. Let me organize these. Actually, what? I guess one of my Batman and Two-Faces were mixed up back there, but Batman and Two-Face 27. I've got a decent run of the Batman and series, I guess it's technically called now. Alright. Next off, Batman 27. I'm going to see if I can set up this camera a little bit. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Hopefully that didn't mess anything up. It's kind of a bummer, but whatever. Batman 27. Sorry, this is not usually the set I use, but this is just what I had to work with right now, so it's a little harder to see the books. But Batman 27, and I actually really do like this cover though, like the Batman kind of whatever the hell's happening there. But this is actually really cool. Zero Year is a really cool series, so I'm pretty sad to see it done. Because at first I didn't really love it, but I mean, I really got into it right before they introduced Riddler, and now that Riddler's coming in, it's becoming very cool. 28, I don't love this cover that much. As much as 27 at least, I should say, but great book. This one is a view into Batman Eternal, and this is the only real look I've had at Batman Eternal because I haven't read 1 and 2 yet. I am subscribed to Batman Eternal now, I believe. I can't remember, but if that's the case, then I've got a lot of Batman Eternal coming because I haven't picked it up, and I think it's a weekly book. 29, which is a $5 book because it's longer. You can see Batman in the Pile of Bones. Some of these are being $5. I don't think it's anything special, like any special issue mark. I think that's just what they need to tell the story, and if that's the case, I'm really fine with that. 0 Year Final Act with the embossed cover with the same Batman thing. I'm pretty sure we've seen this cover like 12 times, but whatever, who cares? It's still cool, because I love Batman. Alright, and going on, actually I should flip these over again, like the other ones. But here we go. Flash 27. Pretty cool cover. Pretty cool series. Picked up a little bit when I first subscribed to this. I think I subscribed at like issue 17. Maybe it was like 20, I'm not sure. But I subscribed and I didn't love it at first, but it's been picking up. I don't know if it's a new creative team or not. It's 28. Pretty cool. Possessed by Dead Man. Ooh. 29. Pretty cool. And 30. Pretty cool again as well. Next up, this one's out of order, sort of, because I didn't really get around to whatever. Batman and Robin, number 2. This is one of the first books I read, and that's why it's out of order. Pretty cool book, actually. Like the other ones. I really liked it. Kind of went back to the older Batman and Robin, kind of the whole early partner thing. Again, very cool. I really liked Dick Grayson as Robin, and I really thought it was cool that they did a little bit of a New 52 thing. And this book takes place in part when Damian's alive. So, a little more Damian, which is always fun. I know they're maybe hinting at bringing him back, or not really hinting at bringing him back. It might just be blatantly bringing him back, but it's kind of unknown right now. But whatever, we'll see. Next up, I got Files and Origins, Batgirl number 1. Secret Origining Batgirl. I picked this up for a quarter from half price. I haven't read any of these half price quarter issues yet, so bear with me as I know nothing about them. More Robin run, as you guys have probably seen if you've seen my previous videos. I'm always up for some Robin issues because I'm trying to collect the full run. I've been actually doing really decent on that. Here is 156, which I think might be the landmark for the highest issue I have right now. But you can see Robin the Stud in there. And oh yeah, it's kind of fun looking at this Heroescape ad, because I used to love that game, and that whole game that I really liked was canceled because Wizards of the Coast is stupid. But whatever. Batman or Robin 3 out of 5. I'm pretty sure I only have 1 and 5 in this miniseries, so I really do want to clear out the first miniseries. Actually, here is my new cap. Robin 180, a very cool cover. It's Red Robin. I believe this is Jason Todd, or someone took up the Red Hood or Red Robin mantle before Tim did. I don't remember. I heard about it before in the past, but I don't remember who. It might be Jason, but I'm not 100% sure, because I know Jason's also been like Nightwing and Batman, and oh look, all these pages are folded. It's unfortunate, but Jason's been about 100,000 aliases, so I don't know. Could be Jason. Maybe I'm wrong there. Very cool book either way. Robin Joker's Wild. I might have this entire series, but I didn't have this cover. And the problem with these variant covers is normally I recognize the things by cover, but since Joker's Wild actually has 100 million covers for each book, I have an annoying time figuring out which books I've seen, because most of them I just check by eye, because these quarter issues, it's not worth looking up and kind of like through my catalog, so I just pick them up. But Joker's Wild 3, whether or not I have Joker's Wild 3 is unknown to me, but whatever. Joker's Wild 2. And Joker's Wild 1. The reason I bought this is because I do have a 2-pack of Joker's Wild, which are polybagged together. Then I have one Joker's Wild 1, which I think might be polybagged, but I'm not sure. I own the book about 4 times, but I'm pretty sure this is my only loose copy. So I thought, if I do own it already, whatever. I don't have this cover for sure, I know, because this is a really cool cover, and I would recognize having it. But I'm not, well, I think I have it in a poly bag actually, but that doesn't help me because if I want to read it, but I'm not sure if I have this one unpolybagged, so I thought I'd pick it up. Number 1. And Robin 3, Cry of the Huntress 3. Robin and Huntress. Also, sorry I'm a little sinusy right now. Got a little bit of allergies coming on. Cry of Huntress 1, part of 1 of 6. I'm pretty sure I have number 6 that came with a poster. I know because I have the poster in my room. And Robin 155 from December 06. I love these Robin issues so much. But there we go. I think that's it for Robin, and we're finally on to my actual Wizard haul instead of my half-price bookstore and comic book store standard haul. Hey, wait just a second. Sorry, guys. Alright. Well, so I mostly picked up comics at Wizard. I also got my VIP Neil stuff, which I'll show you later, but let's get right into it. First off, I got these Wizard World mints. It's hard as hell to get out, but some lady gave them to me, so I was like, alright. I think I'll have a couple of those quick. Got this $12 sticky note, which I'm going to proceed to throw away in a few minutes. Sorry about that. And I got this LeakyCon Orlando card, which I'm going to proceed to throw away in a minute. Alright, but here we go. Here's where the real stuff starts. I've got my brochure, which I actually got 3. I got one for each day because every day I forgot to grab I kept having to grab a new one because I'd forget them. But here we go. My Minneapolis Comic Con thing. Very cool. It's a brochure. Mostly just shows like the around the show floor and stuff. Pretty cool. I Again, another neat souvenir from the convention that I can keep relatively easily. And let's start. First off, I got this autographed picture from Tom Cook of He-Man. And Tom Cook was actually one of the animators on He-Man. He did the Godzilla animated show. He did Super Friends. He did most of those early Hanna-Barbera filmation from like the 70s, 80s. He also directed a couple episodes of King of the Hill, like the smoking episode with Bobby, and a couple Disney movies. So I thought very cool to pick up an autographed picture from him. Plus, I don't have any He-Man things on my wall, so this will be very cool when I finally get around to hanging it up. Alright, I'm going to just shuffle that off to the side. Next off, actually this is from Half Price Bookstore, but still, Batman, Brave and the Bold, Batman and Man-Bat. Very cool. It's actually one of the Whitman, and I'm not sure if Whitman re-released or what they did. I see them all the time, but I've never actually picked them up. I don't know what they do, like a reprint or what it is, but it's a Whitman, so I thought I'd pick that up because that kind of sounded cool to me. Alright, so actually, I do have a couple more Half Price Bookstore books, apparently. Sorry about that, guys. I got Mark Spector Moon Knight, 42. Obviously, I pick up Moon Knight whenever I can find it cheap and it looks cool. This is one of the multiverse Moon Knights, I think. Yep, Minnesota Multiverse. Very cool series that was actually reprinted in the Moon Knight Essentials. Then this is main series Moon Knight 35, double size issue. These were always so good because they were kind of crime noir-y, and I always really liked the early ones. Later on, they got like really ridiculous because I don't think people understood the characters much. So most of the Moon Knight I actually collect as main series. I'll collect cool things like that Mark Spector as Moon Knight, but like these were really good, really dark. Number 34. And genuinely really good. And I don't think any person has been able to properly capture the character past the first series, and that's why I don't read past the first series, which is a real shame because I feel like if we got someone really good on it, it could potentially be a really good series. And I think it's painfully underrated, the really early stuff, so definitely check this out. Moon Knight 26, which I think is a very cool one. I think this is the one when his brother starts murdering people, Mark Spector's, who is Moon Knight, of course, if you don't know the history of the series. And then in the background you can see kind of like a child drawing of someone with like a bully beating up a kid, so that's pretty cool. And I'm not 100%, like a lot of these books, it's been a long time since I've read. Moon Knight 35, I think, yeah, wait, it's kind of hard to tell, 22 actually, sorry. Which you can see his multiple personalities coming after him. They also use the multiple personalities really well. Like later they're like, oh look, he thinks he's Wolverine, and it was kind of stupid. But then I picked up this one, number 23. This one wasn't a quarter like the other ones, but I'll definitely pick this one up because this is actually the first Moon Knight issue I read in Essentials Moon Knight number 2. Because I picked up number 2 first because I don't remember if I got that on sale or if I found it or where I found it, but I just thought Moon Knight sounds cool, so I picked up Moon Knight, and obviously that's where I got my name from, Moon Knight movies, so cool. That was way back, 2008 now, I guess. It's been a while. Then I got Transformers. I buy all these Transformers books when they look cool and when they're cheap. I've got about 10 of them, these Marvel Transformers books. These are also really fun books because it's very G1. But then they take chances G1 wouldn't do, like they just kill people off, and other like the movie did it, but like it wasn't really the same when the movie did it, really. All right, now we're on to Comic-Con stuff. I'm pretty sure I picked this up for free. I don't remember where, but I got this from the pages of Fables Fairest. I don't read Fables. I heard it was good, but I'm not sure. But I got that. So let's get on to my real Comic-Con books, shall we? Alright, first off, I've been in a huge X-Men kick lately. X-Men number 13, I believe this is the second appearance of Juggernaut. Not my favorite X-Men book I have. I also have the first appearance of Sentinels, and I've got one more early X-Men book, I believe. But these X-Men books, I like to collect them more than the early Amazing Spider-Mans. And the covers are just so cool. Very Jack Kirby like, and yeah, definitely really an underrated period in X-Men, and that's really like I was collecting these for a while and really liked the series in general because I do have like the Essentials Classic X-Men, so that's what really got me hyped for all new X-Men, and that's the reason I've collected every issue of that since the start. Now, this one guy had a deal. 3 books for 6 or something. No, it came out, each book was about $1.50. Really good deal though, because a lot of these books were a huge discount. First off, Fantasy Masterpiece. He had it marked at $10, but I got it for $1.50 or whatever it was. But number 10, and these are the Golden Age stories, I believe. So we got All Winners comics from fall of like 1940 something. This one, Beware, He Isn't Human. I would assume that's something. Oh, here it is. That's the 1946. The most colossal collector's classic ever reprinted. Captain America, Submariner, Human Torch, The Wizard, and Miss America. The almost legendary All Winners magazine in a 43-page action epic, exactly reprinted from 1946. Plus Beware, He Isn't Human, which I assume is one of their 50s horror books. And There Were Five Frightened Men, which I assume is one of their 50s horror books. So very cool book, and for $1.52 instead of the $10 price tag. So I was very impressed with that price, and I was definitely down with paying it. Number 2 I got, and I think I got 9 of these, but I'm not sure. I got Fantasy Masterpiece number 3. This is also Golden Age of Marvel. We got Tales of Captain America, and possibly the most exciting event in Captain America comicdom, Captain America's original adventures from the 1940s, rediscovered, greater than ever. So there they are. Golden Age great. And then there's a couple of these horror comics, and one more. Very cool. Again, he had this marked at $12. Again, about $1.50. So great value for me once again. And then Marvel Colossal Item or Collector's Item Classics, $1.50, or number 1 for $1.50. He had it marked for $22. So very cool. This one has Fantastic Four 2, Amazing Spider-Man 3, Tales to Astonish 35, and Journey into Mystery. Which one is that? I'm not sure, but very cool. Very cool books reprinted into Marvel Classics number 1, and this is a 1965 book, so it is very cool to have a 1965 Marvel number 1. Usually you don't get that for very cheap. So those are 3 of the books I picked up from him. The 4th one I picked up, Creeper number 2, $6 book. Any early, like, number 1 through 5s, usually for Marvel and DC from back in the day, I want to pick up. And I thought it was a cool looking book. I kind of wanted to pick up a lot of books from this guy. Creeper is an awesome character in my opinion, and getting his number 2 for such a great price, I was definitely happy with that. Which leads us to our 5th book I picked up from him. Fantasy Masterpiece number 12, and this is more from the Golden Age. A lot of Captain America, Ivan the Terrible. We got Fake Money Fiends, The Menace of Dr. Grimm, I Am Beast Man. They called the thing called It. They Vanished Forever. That was a $12 book initially, and again I picked it up for $1.50. So number 7, I think we're on. Fantasy Masterpieces number 2, marked at $10, and it has Jack Kirby's Fing Fang Foom, Steve Ditko's Those Who Lurk Below, and Don Heck's Arrigo. So these are actually Golden Age of Marvel, it says, but I think these are the 50s horror comics, which I think these are really cool when you look at it, because these are kind of like the more of monster books, and such big people at Marvel at the time, like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, obviously the two biggest artist names of the time, not just in Marvel. But next, I might have picked up 10 or 11 books, I'm not sure. Next off, I got Giant Size Power Man number 1. I'm not sure if this is an annual, but Power Man's a cool character. A character is kind of underrepresented in my collection is probably a good word for it. I don't have very much from him, and he's a cool character. So getting a number 1 for, again, $1.50, $10 price tag, or $10 initial price tag, and just such a cool character, such a cool book. And these were $2 single, $1.50 if you bought a piece, if you bought 6. But cool character, really a revolutionary character in comics as well. Next up, I got King Sized Annual Howard the Duck number 1. Of course, $6 price tag, $1.50. Ever wonder what transpires on the 102nd Arabian Night? And you can see Howard the Duck is messing around with those guys, and they're not having his shit. But you can see, very cool little book. Really good condition too. So that's really nice. And next off, a very cool Frank Miller Daredevil for $10. This is one of my favorite Frank Miller Daredevil covers. Number 186. Very cool. This one's in great condition as well. $10 price tag, again, $1.50. And nothing really is the matter with it. Like, if you want to go up close and just take a look, you can just see no spine problems. No, the corners are very lightly, like very lightly roughed up, like you would see it from a factory. But this guy got it in whatever this book was published in, and he kept it mint since then. So very cool. And finally, a very unique book. Since I was a VIP, I got Hulk number 1, Marvel Now, Comic-Con variant. And as you can see, it's actually very similar to that of the original Hulk one, but now Marvel Now. Duh. Very cool. I'm excited to read this, actually. Should probably put that on my read pile. So there you go. That is it for my plain comics. But if you would allow me, I picked up one more CG Seed book. And now this isn't anything special, but I actually got the X-Men book I showed you, which is the first book I showed you, the first Silver Age book, the X-Men Silver Age book I got. And along with it, I got this 4.0 CG Seed Space Adventures. Now, I really like these old sci-fi horror. Anything that kind of like is very, like, I know this is from 1969, but I really like the space age of the 60s, and anything that kind of reminds me of like the old Max Fletcher cartoons, which kind of reminds me of a mixture of the two of them, which is awesome. And the Fireman Pyro, I think I got both of them. Now, this was supposed to be 12 initially, and the X-Men I picked up was supposed to be 10 initially. Or maybe this was 10 and the other one was 12. Point is, I got them both for, I think, 20 bucks. So, not a bad deal. Like, obviously this isn't a expensive comic at all, and I could probably sell it on eBay for about 10 bucks just for it being CG Seed. And that was part of it, what sold it to me, because I don't have very many CG Seed. Very cool slab CG Seed book. And it's just such a nice, like, looking book. It really reminds me of that era, which I really do enjoy. And that's part of the reason I flock to comics so much, is that it is the most easy way to see a very, like, I don't know, a very good way to see the cultures of back in the day, between the 30s and now, which is really cool, because you pick up a comic from the 80s and it's drastically different from now, and drastically different from that you'd see in the 50s, and it really shows its time, and that's what's really cool about comic books, I would say. I also got this. It's kind of an expansion thing about Wizard. Very cool. It sounds like Wizard is coming back to Minneapolis next year, so if you didn't have a chance to make it, live in Wisconsin, Minneapolis area, Wisconsin, Middle West, near Minnesota, I would definitely say pick it up, or go at least one day. I went all 3 days and I had a great time. I was tired as hell by the end though, so just wanted to point that out. Alright, so let's go on to my posters and prints. They had a Godzilla booth there. A movie I was really hyped for. It was pretty okay. I would have liked more Godzilla instead of like those 3 fight scenes that were like only one that was actually a real fight scene. But still, very cool poster of them jumping onto Godzilla. You can see, I believe, San Francisco in the background and Godzilla, and they're just jumping on him. Definitely gonna be hung up in my room because I'm a big Godzilla fan. So even though I didn't love the movie, definitely something I want to have on there. And then similar picture, different perspective. You can see the soldiers again jumping on. I don't know what was with them and the soldiers jumping on them, but I don't. It looks cool. It's cool imagery. And then you can just see a massive Godzilla destroying the city. Very cool. The weird thing about this poster is it doesn't look like Godzilla's there at all. But whatever. Whatever. Still a cool looking poster. Still gonna be hung up because they're cool. And I was cleaning my room, so now would be the perfect time to do that. Now on to my 4 prints, I believe. Yes, 4 from Neil Adams. And I gotta pick up, I think, 3 mini prints. Not really mini, but like small prints, and then 1 huge print. So here is one of my small prints. And these are not small prints for the small print section. They were just called that. But here's Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 85. The one where Green Arrow finds that that Speedy is like a heroin junkie or whatever. Very cool issue. It was kind of rivaling the Spider-Man issue, but very powerful issue nonetheless, and a very important thing to tackle for comics. And it definitely shows its time because a lot of the drug abusing was of the time. And again, this is a great example, Neil Adams showing the era that comic was based in, both on art and on the social issues of the time. So very cool, Neil Adams there. Green Lantern, sorry, Green Arrow. One of my favorite covers by him, so I'm glad I got that. Next off, I decided to go for 2 kind of sketchy ones and 2 kind of cover ones. So then I got this X-Men one. You can see, very cool. We got Kitty Pryde. We got Cyclops. Jean Grey as the Phoenix. Nightcrawler, Colossus, Wolverine, Storm. Most of my favorite X-Men, except Iceman, Beast, Angel, Rogue, but Gambit. You know, whatever. But these are a really cool roster, nonetheless, of X-Men. And you can see they're utterly surprised by Kitty Pryde going up. That was very cool. Also, he signed them all to me, which I thought was really cool as well. Very nice guy. I also got a picture or 2 with him, which was pretty cool. Next off, Zombie Batman. This one's just a sketch. But I thought it was cool. Something a little more original. Like, I couldn't just print it offline. This is something that you're not going to see anywhere else unless you bought it from him. But you can just see the Batman completely torn up. Rips all over his uniform. And this isn't just like one of like the newer zombies. This is like kind of, it's almost skeleton. And it's really, really a cool print, I think. Or it's called Zombie in a Bat Suit, actually. That's pretty funny. It's not Batman, it's just a zombie in a bat suit by Continuity Studios. With Continuity Studios. So I don't know if that was actually in like a indie book or something that he did, but whatever. And finally, Superman versus Muhammad Ali for my big one. I thought I couldn't resist. I love kind of like another cool thing. Like, I'm not huge into boxing, but I always did like Rocky, and I have watched a couple documentaries on things like Muhammad Ali. I really like playing Punch-Out. Now, these are ridiculous excuses to get boxing things, but I mean, I do know a little bit about boxing, Superman, and this is a very iconic cover, and again, another one that's very with the time of the day. Also, you can just see all the people in there, and actually on the back, he threw in this sheet. And you can see, it's actually kind of hard to see because there's the glare coming through, but you can see every person that these guys were made like off of, that were based off of. You can see people like one, you can see Bernie Wrightson here. Let's go on. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If we can find them quick. Those are the Jacksons, like Michael Jackson and such, I think. And those are, I think you can see them right there. Those are supposed to be the Jacksons. You can see Neil Adams himself. It's number 29. Lots of other cool guys. There's, yeah, like Plastic Man. You can see Mary Marvel, Freddie Marvel, Doc Magnus and the Metal Men, John Jones, Julius Schwartz, Dennis O'Neil. So that's really cool. Alfred, Batman's butler, Ray Palmer the Atom, Oliver Queen, Hal Jordan, Carol Ferris, Dick Grayson, Arthur Curry, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Speedy, Iris Allen, Aqualad, Wally West. A lot of really cool ones. Lex Luthor, Alfred E. Newman, Barbara Gordon, Steve Trevor, Diana Princess. So along with like a lot of new real celebrities, there's also the joke ones, and that's kind of cool though. Like kind of be able to spot them out. It'd be kind of neat to just have the list playing and be able to see if you could spot them. But you can see a lot of these guys, and it's really cool. Like really cool print. One of my favorite images in all of comics. So that is it, guys. That is my Wizard World and other conventions and stuff. And I guess if you're here, I might as well talk a little bit about my experience there. I'm just gonna be like 5 minutes at most, but very fun, very big, lots of cosplay. I met a lot of the artists like Tom Cook. There's a lot of cool celebrities there. I didn't meet all of them. Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid. We had Gilbert Gottfried, the parrot from Aladdin, Green Power Ranger. Of course, the big ones like William Shatner. A lot of the Doctor Who guys. I'm not huge into Doctor Who, so I don't really know much about them. A few guys from Walking Dead. Really cool. I saw the Robert Englund panel, which I thought was really cool. He was talking a lot about the theater he liked and stuff, and a lot about his acting stories and stuff, and that was a really fun panel, really lively. And then I went to Tom Cook's panel, and he was the one who did He-Man. He worked on He-Man. And I always thought animating and animation was something that was really interesting. I watched a lot of like I had this DVD, obviously when I was, or not obviously, but when I was like 5 or 6, my grandma bought it for me. And since then I like watched the bonus features for that Looney Tunes DVD, and the DVD was really interesting. It talked a lot about how they made the cartoons, even back in the day. These were like archival, like 60s, 70s, how they made the Looney Tunes. So I was always interested in that or how they made those since I was younger and stuff. So actually meeting one of the animators that worked on a lot of shows that I like, still like to watch to this day, like He-Man, the Godzilla animated show with like Godzuki and shit, and He-Man, I probably said that already, She-Ra, really cool. He talked about everything they did at the firm. Like he told us stories about it. He told us about how when he made He-Man and She-Ra, they'd actually have to make both episodes on a week, and they were just completely swamped, but how he had a lot of fun with that, and how he just started out as a bus driver and stuff. So that was really the panel that I enjoyed. I mean, not as many people went to it, obviously, because Tom Cook's not as big as someone like Robert Englund, Ralph Macchio, William Shatner, or the others. But that was one of my highlights of the convention, really. And I really did enjoy that. I thought it was really cool. So if he is at a convention, you should definitely, that you're headed to, definitely show him some love. Hit up his booth. That was a pretty cool guy that I would say deserved more attention than he got, because it's really cool kind of hearing about that stuff. Very interesting. So I hope he comes back next year, because I'll definitely hit up his. And he didn't have much time for questions, which was also a bummer, because I didn't get to ask him one. But that was really cool. Overall, I thought I got a lot of cool stuff. I only spent $50 at the convention on the comics and my crazy clown video game. Spent a little bit on food, so I really think I did good with myself there. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's all for today. Sorry I haven't been doing much videos. It is summer starting Thursday for me. So other than work, I'm pretty much good. And since I just started at my new job, I should be able to get more money, which means more comics and more figures, which means more videos, which I'm really glad about because I felt bad. Like usually what I do is when there's no new figures coming out, I'll buy a whole bunch of figures at a collection or at a convention and kind of coast on that. Well, in October, I don't remember why, but I didn't have much money for SpringCon, so I didn't get any figures there, so I didn't have much of a backlog of things like I usually do. And SpringCon, I had to go to my uncle's, so I wasn't able to make it. Plus, I was pretty tired from the previous weekend being Wizard, so I wasn't able to hit that to pick up more figures, which kind of left me open up without anything to work on. So for like the last year, I've been on the great drought, and I really do want you guys to know I'm not abandoning you guys or whatever. I really do like doing this. I just don't like paying huge prices for figures I genuinely don't care about. But once I'm back at the conventions, I'll be picking stuff up. Also, on top of comic book figures, I've kind of been interested in maybe starting like a video game figure collection for like Smash Bros and stuff. And there's a lot of those cool like $40 Mega Man figures that are just stacked with all the articulation and garbage. So I'm definitely like still interested. I'm still looking around and watching videos, and it's definitely not a matter of me not wanting to do this anymore. It's just mostly a matter of money and cost of figures, which is just getting ridiculous, and all of the cancellations of my favorite lines, which is a real bummer. But I'm definitely going to get back into it, guys, so stay tuned for that. I'll be watching your guys' videos, so thank you for watching. Sorry this has been 45 minutes, but it's been fun. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll definitely be watching you guys. Thanks for watching.